the showstopper at Tata Motors stand is obviously this, the Sierra. Martin, finally it's here. This is the production version. We've seen concepts, multiple concepts. Now this is it?
Yes, this is it, finally. Pencils down.
Finally.
Yes.
And the front end, it's a little different from the earlier concept that we saw.
Yes.
Why is that?
Yeah, this is the ICE version of the car. And we definitely wanted to make something distinctive. At the same time, you know, the DNA of a Sierra, you see the original right there behind us. And the EV will look like the concept, the front end. And this will be the ICE version, which communicates more of a sort of, you know, petrol, very strong with the lettering in the grille.
So why do you have this for the ICE and not for the EV?
Because we wanted to have a different front end visually, but also for it to communicate the powertrain. This graphic communicates, you know, something that's much more like powerful, and then the EV one has to communicate efficiency.
Okay.
And be a little bit more high tech.
In terms of the lighting, now these are the fog lamps, I'm assuming?
These are the main headlamps. This is the DRL.
Okay.
And then we have the fog lamp down in the air curtain, and then we have a secondary lamp below it.
Okay, so it's got all LED lighting, as we
Yes.
can see. This, in terms of proportions and in terms of size, is it similar to the concept that we saw
Exactly
earlier?
the same, to the millimeter.
So it's the same?
Yeah.
It's 4.3 meters, I'm assuming?
Yes, that's right. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, the surfaces are different. If I overlay the data, you know, there are differences because this is the productionized version, but visually you couldn't tell the difference. Even our management has confused sometimes the concept from the production models in the studio.
Okay, let's go over to the profile and talk about the tire sizes.
Yes, so you can see we're on 19-inch wheels.
19-inch wheels, huh?
This is super important because this has to communicate power, strength, safety, and stance. And to be honest, it was an area where we couldn't compromise. So, you know, the positioning of that, the setup of this car platform-wise, proportionally, does all the work. To be honest, the lines are almost secondary, you know, because that's what sets up the car.
Okay. Martin, in terms of the platform, this can obviously take a combustion engine as well as EV. Is that why this has got such a long wheelbase?
Yes, that was actually to accommodate that. But at the same time, to be honest, we played around with the proportions of the rear door, and we will be offering the interior with more space.
Okay.
And that ingress-egress is also key because, to be honest, this B-pillar is part of the door, but there's actually a structure behind it. So, you know, you want to make sure that that ingress-egress is uncompromised. And the B-pillar was super important to get that proportion right because this is actually the signature of the car.
Yes.
That and this so-called wrap-over graphic, you know, and to be honest, even Mr. Tata, when he visited the studio, we had this actually much smaller, and he said make it bigger because that's the signature of the car.
It's nice that you mentioned Mr. Tata, Ratan Tata. Apparently he had inputs in terms of design on the new Sierra, just like he had design inputs on the original Sierra all those years ago.
That's right, that's right. He saw the model when it was in development and immediately understood, you know, the value of that as a brand and what it represents, not just spiritually, but, you know, in terms of function and stuff like that. And as an architect and somebody who had a very good aesthetic eye, he immediately made, you know, a couple of comments about line, but also don't compromise anything, you know, on the vision. And that was, you know, very good guiding.
Design and engineering always have a little tussle.
Oh, that's, yeah.
Right? What did you have to fight for to get it right on the car visually?
Oh, absolutely, everything. Everything from, like I mentioned, this B-pillar, you know, packaging would say like it needs to be somewhere here because of visibility, that we're making a blind spot. Then it was, you know, the section of the door handles. This section here, for instance, you know, we have just two lines. So it had to develop a very unique joint to open the bonnet. Our team wanted to have a second split line here, which is something we have on the Nexon. So on every area of the vehicle, there is some sort of battle. But like I said, in the end, it was a battle well worth fought.
Would you have liked larger wheels?
A 20-inch?
Yeah.
I'm sure it wouldn't hurt.
Would it fit in the production car?
Probably, yes. I don't see why not. I see all of the people online fitting curves
with
bigger wheels.
Yeah.
And I'm always bouncing those videos to our colleagues.
Will it also get like functional roof rails?
Yes, and also a huge panorama roof. So obviously this doesn't have a wrap over window. This is a 5-door, not a 3-door. So obviously there's a split line here, but also from safety rollover, you know, there is a strong structure in it. But interior wise, once we sit in the car in a couple of months, you'll see how much panorama and vista you see and how much daylight is coming into this vehicle.
Let's have a look at the rear. Martin, a very bluff rear.
Yes, yes. I mean, the car is fairly straightforward and simple. I think actually a lot of it happens from the proportion. I think this actually very upright rear window kind of makes it very authentic, pure. This was also a point of contention, was putting the split line so far out. You know, traditionally you would have it somewhere here. Yeah. So this clamshell tailgate was months of discussions. But actually you'll see when you open it, the amount of tailgate space and access you'll get is well worth it. But also graphically, I didn't want it to be, you know, cluttery. Again, it's super simple. You know, I didn't want to, you know, damage this kind of pure surface with a split line. So there's another element, you know, which was again worth fighting for.
So Martin, personal opinion, I think it really looks nice. When I saw the first Sierra concept, I was like, yeah. Then we saw the second Sierra concept, it was yeah. But then we've been seeing concept after concept. Finally, it's here in production form. I think it's conventionally good looking, plus it has that element of history connecting with India's past, the Sierra. Is this the best work that you've ever done?
Yes, over the course of my career, without any doubt, this is the best product I've designed, or not maybe personally designed, but been part of the design team and led. Like I said, this was a labor of love for the designers who worked on it, but also, you know, fighting to get this out as a vision, as a product, as a nameplate, and to the fidelity that it's been achieved. It's a really point of pride. It'll be probably the best product in my legacy, and when my career is summarized.
The interior now, it's not open.
Yes.
Right? Is it very different to other Tata cars?
It looks like the concept.
Okay.
So exactly, you can see actually the top of the IP. And we have that. You can see that it has a coast-to-coast screen. So that'll be one of the things that we're offering on it. And the main thing is the quality of the materials. Again, just like the exterior, it has that same level of design and quality that we're offering.
Are you moving back towards physical buttons on the interior?
Some areas, yes, definitely. We've seen customer reaction, customer feedback, and we still want the interior to look high tech. There will be an element of, like, you know, haptics and, you know, gloss black, but some functions actually lend themselves better to be, I don't want to say analog, but well designed, like a Japanese stereo system.
Okay. Finally, what does the Sierra nameplate mean to you and to your colleagues at Tata Motors Design?
The Sierra nameplate means that, you know, it has emotion behind it. You know, obviously there's a nostalgia for the people who experienced the original, but at the same time, it has to have like an emotional connection. That's, I think, the differentiator. There's a lot of good design at this show, on the road, in the industry. So the fidelity of design is getting higher and higher. The USP will be to have the emotional connection. Designers are storytellers, and ultimately, you know, we're telling a story through the brand, and the brand is Sierra.
Yeah. Congratulations, Martin.
Cool. Thank you.
What do you guys think about the Sierra? Let us know in the comments.